You've known us for over almost 3 years now. We're still the same people you spoke to 3 years ago. Yeah. Nothing has changed.
Absolutely. How can we help other people who are doing what you're doing to not crash and burn?
So I was so happy about the book. The book is going to be here forever, you know. People will read it years and years to come. I want to fill up stadiums and just people coming together, listening to good music and just worshiping God, you know, uplifting each other. I don't care if you're Christian or you're not Christian, but do you believe in God? Come over. You know, like that's my biggest dream. My biggest dream is to bring the world together to just recognize and appreciate God.
Ling and Lamb, I met them back in 2021. They had just launched their channel a little over a year prior and were already doing gangbusters. And now, 3 years later, they're even more successful.
I feel like I don't need any introduction for you two. I've got Ling and Lamb here, YouTube superstars, Instagram superstars. You've got your awards in the back showing how many followers you have, right?
Yeah. That's that.
Are you platinum?
So it's the silver and the gold. Yeah. Yeah. So we still got some more work to do, but
from your lips to God's ears.
Exactly.
Well, that's part of the reason why I was so excited to talk to you guys, because, you know, out of a lot of people that I've talked with, and I've had many conversations, you guys have one of the most fascinating rises I've ever seen. Does anybody ever compare you? Well, first off, how would you introduce yourselves? Are you influencers? Are you creators? Are you comedians?
You know, it's funny. Even, you know, we've been doing this for almost 5 years now, and we still struggle with it because we just see ourselves as Ling and Lamb, two people just having fun on the internet with our community. But I think when people actually force us to give a title, we say digital creators. We say creators.
And then sometimes we just say we're influencers.
Yeah.
You know.
So it kind of.
And then I'm a musician and she's a model. So it's like, just leave us alone. We're just laying alone.
Well, for those who have been living under a rock the past 4 years, what is Ling and Lamb, and where did you guys get these names?
So Ling and Lamb nicknames, right? So Ling is a family nickname that I've had since I was like 9 or 10. Yeah. And Lamb is actually a derivative of his official name, which is also his stage name, Lamborghini. So I was like, I'm never calling you that. Yeah. I like the way Lamb sounds. It's so cute. And we've just been rocking with that since the beginning. It was literally even there for our wedding. Yeah. The wedding of Ling and Lamb.
Ling and Lamb. And we were not anybody, like, we didn't even do social media at the time, but we just called our wedding Ling and Lamb when we got married. Yeah. So that's where the name came from, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you have two completely different cultures.
Yes. Yeah.
Dominican and Nigerian, correct?
So I'm a mix. I'm Black, white, Portuguese, and Jewish, and then Bambi is Nigerian. It's okay. It's okay.
I thought you were Dominican this whole time.
I did a lot. I got Dominican before. I've got.
Wait. You're Black,
white, Portuguese,
and Jewish. Okay, you are definitely American. Yeah, okay.
And sometimes, depending on, sometimes they see it, they're like, "Are you Indian?
Yeah. Are you from the Middle East?" So it's a lot. It's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm ethnically ambiguous.
So, as for me, I'm just blessed that I ended up getting married to the real Miss World. You know, that looks like everybody, you know, Miss. So that's who would have thought?
And then you're.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, and I'm from Nigeria, and two different ethnicities, even in Nigeria. So
Igbo and Yoruba?
Yes, Igbo and Yoruba. But
that's interesting.
Very interesting. But also, my dad's mom is full breed Ghanaian. So
wow.
Yeah, so
it's a lot going on.
So you can imagine the cultural clash, because sometimes the Igbo side of me is communicating with her. Sometimes it's the Yoruba side. Sometimes it's just anything, you know, so it's a lot going on.
And you bring a lot to the table because, you know, ever since I first saw you, and I don't know if people who are a certain age will understand this, but maybe a lot of people might be too young, but there was this show back in the day called The Honeymooners.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
You guys remind me of the modern day multicultural honeymooners. Do you understand that?
So I grew up watching that show, especially every New Year, plays like a marathon. So I love them. I think you've seen it.
Yeah, you guys showed me
But we
once.
get a huge amount of people saying we remind them of Lucy and Ricky.
Yeah.
That's who we were for Halloween. That's back then.
Lucy, I'm home.
Ricky, is that you, dear?
Oh, cute.
But it's that same dynamic, like that, like we banter, but we love each other so much. It's like all the things. So we get that a lot.
Well, and this timing, the comedic timing has a slapstick element to it, especially from Lamb. And then like that, I'm going to the moon, Alice, to the moon. And I could hear Lamb saying things in that tone to you. And you're kind of like, just like batting your eyelashes. Well, honey.
Yep.
And just kind of like that calm.
Yep.
I don't know. It's fascinating.
I'll give you a good example. When we met, she started this whole thing in a wild crocodile, later alligator.
Oh, yeah, later, I'll be like, later alligator. And then he'd be like, and I'm like, in a wild crocodile.
Then she wants me to be replying in a wild crocodile. I'm like, just leave the crocodile alone.
Well, she and honestly, Ling often says things that are, more American colloquialisms. And that was kind of, I think, part of the reason why you guys went viral oftentimes, because you were hilariously responding in oblivion. Like you were just like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is not an African statement. And I've never heard this in America either, because not everybody says those things.
Somebody telling you, don't let the bed bug bite. That still lives with me forever.
It's like bed bugs.
I'm like, don't let the bed bug bite. Like, there's no bed bug on my bed, but.
Well, and it's just like your natural funny bone, I guess. The food videos, depending on people's stomach for things, either they were like getting hungry while watching them, grossed out a little bit while watching them, while you're sucking on fish bones.
Oh my God.
This is my fish, this is my fish. You people should not go there and finish it, That's why I don't want to post this one for a very long time.
You have to get it right.
You become like, if there was an encyclopedia for influencers, I think I just came up with a business idea. Your photo would be next to food.
100%.
Was any of this planned? I mean, did you guys sit down one day and say, you know what? I know you want to, this music career is important to you, but I think we really need to be showcasing other parts of your personality, or we both need to like show the world something that isn't out there yet in our authenticity. I mean, did you deliberately start this?
No, not at all. It was totally accidental, if you will. Literally towards the end of 2020 COVID era, we were just playing around. Lamb had a friend of his sent him some food. That was Nigerian from New Jersey. And she was like, try it, because he had missed home.
I hadn't eaten it for like over 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while for him. I had just finished working out. I was passing by him while he was making a video trying it to say thank you to her. And he's like, oh, wait, come and try it. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. And so
then she started questioning everything.
Like, what is this?
Like, what is this, mama? Oh, what is it? What
is this jollof rice?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, where's the rice? Where's the spoon? He's like, nope, your hands. This is it. We tried it. We posted it. We had never been on TikTok. We don't know what it is. We woke up the next day and it went viral. And we were...
From one video.
Yeah, and people just started saying, we want to see more. And in all fairness, the food adventure started because I couldn't find my regular food that I was used to. So she started introducing me to all kinds of food.
Yes.
Like, oh, go and try this, come and try it. So it ended up being a blessing because it became what it became, But if I had access to just my Nigerian food at the time, that food aspect wouldn't have happened. But, I was just experimenting. And that's why when she was questioning all the ingredients, all the elements in the soup, I was tired of explaining. I was like, enough. Like, I've not seen this food in 2 years. You're not going to make me start explaining.
You gave me a bite and you were like, go.
I gave her a bite and I said, leave.
But I've seen you guys get into fights about the food. I mean, again, there's never any like violence. No. It's always in jest, but it's so funny seeing you get upset about a meat patty or beef patty. How do you say it?
Look, who sees?
Can you tell that I've watched the
Yes,
channel?
you have. Who sees a beef patty sitting comfortably in the fridge and thinks it doesn't have a owner?
No, I understand, because I mean, I'm still looking for an Indonesian restaurant. Right before I started my TV career, I was a waitress at an Indonesian restaurant in Manhattan Beach, California.
Okay.
It was some of the best food I've ever had. They closed that restaurant down. I tried to find it, and I was like, man, it is almost. I've not seen an Indonesian restaurant in the United States since then.
You're crazy.
If you find one, ship it to me like your friend shipped that Nigerian food.
No, 100%. Now I'm like, wait.
After you do the video.
Way out to Indonesia. What?
Oh my God.
It's very challenging. You can find Malaysian food,
Yes.
but specifically Indo.
Really?
Oh,
Now you're giving us an assignment.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, we're gonna.
You will understand the assignment when you taste this peanut sauce. I'm telling you.
I love good peanut sauce. Yes.
Oh, girl. I make a good one. Between that and then having friends from North Africa, I guess West Africa, Cameroon.
Oh, yeah. Cameroonians make very good peanut sauce. Yes.
They do. So I mix the African and the Indo together.
Oh, wow. What a combination.
Something, again, look at you both. It's a good thing to blend. It's a good thing to have many options together. But I wanted to talk to you more about food, because I wanted to talk to you about your faith. One thing I'm noticing is that we're seeing this cultural revolution, so to speak. I mean, more people are being outspoken about their faith. And one of the first videos I ever saw was, Lamb, you rapping or singing about, I think you actually have a song that's out now. Yeah. It's like, this is my best year, or something like that.
I'm going to be great. You cannot stop me.
You cannot stop me.
Stop me.
It's very easy. Like, it's catchy, happy music. Yes. But one of the first things I saw was this song about you talking about God and God's blessings.
Yeah. Count your blessings. Life is full of blessings. Thank God for his mercy. We pray.
I want to ask you.
Life is full of blessings. Thank God for his mercy. We pray. She always does that.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's universal. And it's like, what made you so outspoken about your own faith? And what's been your faith journey? Did you discover faith as a child? Did you find faith when you came to the United States? What has it been like for you?
So all my life, I grew up, literally, I was born in the church, actually. Literally, my mom was praying, and she got under labor, and they were not able to get her to the hospital on time. So she actually had me in the church. So I grew up, I was in children's choir, drama group. I've always been like, from that foundation of knowing God. But the older I got, we left the church, going to, other things, just exploring the world in general. But I never lost sight of God's hand upon my life. I recognized that every single thing about my journey, from when I was born to wherever I am in my life, I would not be here without God, So I use that as my checkmate. It's my way of putting me in line. And I just want to be like, what would God have me do? I just want to be a good person, stuff like that. So that is how my foundation actually started from, with, my faith and believing in God. We've gone to different churches, different doctrines, but there is only one God,
And Ling, what about you? Did you have a strong faith before you met Lamb? Or, was this something that you have discovered along with him?
Yeah, so funny. We pretty much have the same story. I've been in church since I was probably like 6 years old. Literally same thing. Choir, youth group, drama club, Sunday school, Monday. We were there all the time. Like, we grew up, like, we were there Wednesdays, Mondays, Fridays. So we both were very much so. We grew up in it. And then, we still, as adults, made that choice to, stay committed to Christ. And that's our foundation, even, in our relationship.
In our relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
You have videos out about your journey and your faith, and I guess there's a conversation about how each one of you prays.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little sample of what that looks like? What does it look like when Ling and Lam pray?
Well, I personally thought she used to lie, that she knew God, because
What?
I'm coming from a background where when we are praying, the house is shaking. You're speaking in tongues, you're calling out all the Father, Lord, I call on you right now. All of those things,
It's passionate.
Yeah, you're giving, and then
The fire.
yes, and then she's praying. She says she's praying. I don't hear nothing.
Sometimes no words. It's just communication between me and God.
So when I call her, like when we just started, I'm like, let's pray. I'm waiting for her to pray. And she said she's done. I'm like, what do you mean by you're done? I did not hear you pray. So
I'm like, yeah, and the neighbors are hearing you pray right now. Like, down.
literally we have a contents, you get to see it.
Yeah, we'll send it to you.
Do you pray together then? Have you guys come like with, just like with your joint cultures? Do you have like joint prayer time and you kind of have rubbed off on each other a little bit?
So the funny thing is we still, pray separately because I think every person like has their individual prayer life. But of course, as a couple, we definitely come together. But I think it's much more, I feel like maybe I rubbed off on you.
Yeah.
Because it's much more quiet. Like it's more conversational with God, more than a revival, but and that's great too. Like I'm not knocking that, everybody has their way of how they communicate with God, but I think it's just been more, we hold hands and we just get very passionate together, but it's just different.
It's different.
Yeah.
And I still do my prayer the way I want it, but one thing I've become considerate also is, find a balance. I'm not whispering.
Mm-hmm. No.
You can still hear me.
Oh yeah.
Ling, I think that was a little hint. Like that was a little bit of baby shade, prayer shade.
You can still hear me.
Prayer shade for real.
You can still hear me, but it's just that I'm not just what is the word? As loud. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Like there was a time when to be famous, you had to know the right people. You had to have an agent. You had to have enough resources, whether that was money or connections or power. And then there was a shift and everybody dreamed, small town people have been making their way in Hollywood forever, right? But now it's like, instead of appealing to the big studios or the big networks, people are taking broadcasting into their own hands. People are taking their platform into their own hands. Social media, thank you. It's innovative. Mm-hmm. Do you think that there's been an innovation in how people deliver the message of faith? How they deliver that part of their life? Because I think before it had to be so compartmentalized. Yeah. Your faith was behind a closet door. Right. This was your prayer closet. Yep. Nobody knew anything about your faith life. You just had to be a good person. Yeah. But you're, again, seamlessly able to talk about God, able to sing or rap about God, able to give God that due credit for your success. Do you think something has been disruptive in the atmosphere, so to speak?
You go, because I have a whole thing to say about this, but I'll let you go first.
Well, no, I was going to say, I think, with the new way of broadcasting, being able to produce content the way in which we want, the way we see it, has allowed us to have that freedom where, we're not like overly churchy. We're not like, hey, call us Pastor Ling and Lam, but we spread God's message, his love and his lessons just through our content, our lives, just our regular conversations. And we love actually hearing from people who are non-believers who are like, we're not necessarily Christians, but like, we love what you guys are talking about. We want to learn more. And isn't that the goal, right? Yep. To reach the unsaved, the people who don't know much about God, Christ. So that's really amazing that we have that power to be able to do that without, like you said, hiding it and keeping it on the back burner.
And for me, I would say this is the first time that most people can relate to the everyday life. Because if you look at most religious books, are written in parables. And most of the pastors or leaders that are leading, they speak a lot in parables, so you have a whole generation of people who feel like, God, where are you? Just because they missed the format of communication. But what we have today with social media is now you're seeing the everyday people come online, talk about God, and the everyday people watching can relate to it. They have been able to break down those parables into reality, making it more understandable. And for us, that is something we're very proud of. We have tons of emails of people or messages over the years, people saying, I was going through, chemotherapy, and you guys, your videos kept me going. I play your song, God is not done. I play your song, This Is My Year. I had a very tough day, but your song uplift. That is what this is all about.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for it. And we're grateful that a lot of people are using their platforms and using this social media as a medium, to make people understand, that God is real. And the application might be wrong over the years or wherever way you feel. But look, it's real. It's applicable. I'm here. I'm a testimony of it.
Yeah.
And we say it all the time. We are testimonies. Like you said, the Hollywood, literally, we started our journey from our devices and reached billions of people all over the world. So if that is not God, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That is God right there.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have become, I think I was watching an interview that you did on YouTube, and I think it said, how many billions of times have your videos been watched? Was it 7 billion?
So no, currently we're over 3 billion.
I love that though.
But
I keep promoting you.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears, Father Lord, thank you for using
7 billion.
Yeah, you heard it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yep.
And I mean, I would just think that when you didn't plan on it and you had no intention of it, but it became this thing where people were like, yeah, give us more.
Yes.
So you decided, you know what? Okay, we will serve another video.
Yep.
We will serve another song.
Yes.
How has your faith kept you grounded? Because it's not all, it's wonderful and it's fun and it's exciting, but it's more work.
Yeah.
It's more time. Your whole life, completely, whatever you knew is gone.
Yeah.
So how, is there a special way that you are staying grounded in your faith? Is there a verse that you stand on? Do you have a tighter, smaller inner circle than maybe you did before? How are you handling ascending this fast, this much?
I think I've always I'm very introverted naturally. And so my circle has always been extremely small.
Yep.
So they help keep me grounded. I think as people, Lamb and I are naturally very humble. I mean, people will see us out and be like, oh my God, hi. And I'm like, wait, why are they saying hi? And I'm like, oh my God, honestly, because we don't look at ourselves like that.
Yeah.
And so, always just making sure that, we stay, again, it's so ingrained in us. So we're always being grateful to God for what we have. And I think when you have that extreme level of gratitude, it's almost impossible to become anything other than super humble because you're just grateful for everything that you have. And so that always roots us and keeps us connected, to God that way, in one way.
And I would just add to that and say, when you remember that everything you have today was once a prayer request.
Yeah.
You never lose sight of it. That is one. Two, when you also understand that there are so many billions of people in the world.
Yeah.
But out of all the billions of people, one way or the other, the effort you're putting in is being recognized, be it by one person, two people, or billions of people. Those kind of things just keep you in this forever state of gratitude.
Yeah.
Our biggest thing, literally January this year, after our prayer, she said, I know we're grateful, but I think we should be more grateful. I'm like, yes, we're very grateful, but she's like saying, And we say that to say, because of the work we do, the pressure that comes with it, the tendency of beginning to complain, or the tendency of beginning to feel like, God, where are you? Or, because now you've forgotten about the fact that God has blessed you with all these things, but now you have new goals.
Yeah.
You have new ambitions, and they probably are not coming quick enough. And then you might start getting a little bit above yourself and saying things that you're not supposed to say to God, but gratitude keeps you in this space where you say to yourself, I didn't even have this. And it gets,
Yeah.
that means all these other things I'm expecting, he will, God is going to come through. So gratitude, once you have gratitude,
That's enough, truly. Yeah.
Gratitude makes the little things enough.
Yeah.
I have one more question, and then I want to hear about your book, because I found, and it's something that a lot of people don't speak about, but as you ascend, as you reach other heights of success or get those prayers answered, as you mentioned, there's an internal work that goes on the inside of you. It's like everything that was inside of you is getting shaken up like a snow globe. And the good things that are in you are coming out, but some of the insecurities are coming out. Some of the hidden wounds from the past are coming out. Like, the person that you are is being shaken, and it's almost like it's coming up so that you can deal with it and sweep it away, or you can embrace it and strengthen it and maximize it. Have you noticed, like, with the cameras more on you, which again, especially for an introvert, my goodness, I guess it's nice to pretend that nobody's watching you and you're in your house, but all these people, millions of people are watching you. Have you found, like, someone? Do you find it more with each other when you're kind of like decompressing or processing some of those things that come up from the inside? Or is it a pastor, or is it a spiritual leader, a friend who's, strong in the Lord? Because I find that it's not just like a therapy session that you need. It's really like finding out what's inside of you and unlocking things that you didn't know were there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. I would say in our own case, she is that person for me. When I'm happy, worried, or I see a strange side of me that I didn't know existed, for example, I never knew we were going to be Ling and Lam when I fell in love with her. I just fell in love with her. I didn't fall in love with Ling, But little did I know there was a lamb inside of me that would become this guy, So it's like the ability to just, trust each other, we are each other's, spiritual guidance, and it's been like that. When we started dating, we used to say, God is the rock of our foundation.
Yeah.
So the foundation we built our relationship, marriage on, that rock in the foundation is God for us, so.
And I think also we both have like 1 to 2 very close people who are also in Christ as well. And so sometimes it's being able to bounce things off of them as well, or just, talk to them. And it is comforting to know that you have a support group,
Yeah.
But mostly it's like here.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
We are
The partnership.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Well, and I ask you, and I appreciate your honesty and your response, because I think that, you watch a lot of people become influencers or digital content creators. Yeah. And there's a crash for some of them. I won't say all or most. I don't have the stats, but just like in any field, when you're mega successful, especially if you're successful very quickly, I always like to give people a little something. It's like, how can we help other people who are doing what you're doing to not crash and burn, to not feel that the pressure is so much that they feel this pressure to perform versus enjoying, like you seem to. I mean, you both seem to just enjoy each other so much. And have so much fun. And it's like, man, you want everyone to have that sweet time with the person that they love, with their family, be able to not take things so seriously. And so my hope is that, somebody listening will realize, oh, it's normal that I've seen different sides of my personality come out, or it's normal that I felt a little insecure or unworthy of some of the success sometimes. Would you give any advice to those who maybe are watching who are saying, I'm going down the same path, but I felt a little bit of like, can I handle all of this? Would you give some advice to them right now?
Yeah, I would go with, don't worship anything you have. You know, always remember you were before any of those things. You know, before the fame, before the viral video, that person you were. So don't all of a sudden lose sight of who you were before any of those things. That's one thing we both have. You know, we never lied to each other. We kept it real. Never lose your authenticity, because after the camera, after the lights, after all of that viralism, you're going to lay in bed with the real you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to look at the real you in bed saying, who are you? You know, that would be my greatest advice, because our life is a journey. Different things are going to come to us, the highs and the lows, but never lose who you are. You've known us for over almost 3 years now. We're still the same people you spoke to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Absolutely.
And I promise you, nothing is going to change.
Yeah. And I would probably I love that. So I would just add a little thing here, just that, you know, consistency is key. And you have to, you know, really like what you do, because there are absolutely days where we don't want to do anything, you know. It's very fast paced. It's always, how do you one up yourself from the last video, the last thing. So it can really like drive you crazy. So I think as long as, like Lamb said, know who you are, because also the public is going to be the public. You're opening yourself up to the public, their opinions, what they think of you as a person. So really know who you are, like he said, and also be consistent and know that times are going to be hard no matter what the industry is. So, you know, just keep going and believing in yourself and making sure you have that strong support group.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I just find that the most successful people do know who they are. And a lot of people know who they are because of their identity related to God, or their identity in Christ for Christians. People who are so resolved in their spirit, soul, and their mind, will, emotions. Like, it's got to be the whole person, you know, and not just a facade, or not just, okay, let me just gear myself up. Let me turn on for the cameras, right? Like, that can only last so long. You're real. You are putting out this book, Beautiful Foolishness. Is that right?
Yes, that is it. This is our book.
This is the book. So I'm curious about the title. I think I know. Tell me how the title came about.
Yeah, so we don't want to cut off on you, Adrian. So can you just grab the charger that's right there? So sorry. I'm so sorry.
I've been in this situation.
I'm like watching the notification. I'm like, no. So
we're almost done, but yeah, don't die on me.
We're charging it now. Okay.
We're going to keep this in. We're going to keep this in because this is a real moment. I have this happen so many times. During the pandemic, when we had to broadcast from home, oh my God, and be like, no, the charger's all the way across the room.
Exactly.
And I'm doing a Zoom call.
And you see what you just said? We're going to keep this.
Yes.
This little thing that just happened is everything we've been talking about, keeping it real.
Yeah.
There are people who are doing what we're doing right now that if this happened, they will freak out. They will lose their mind. But it's okay. It's not stopping the show.
Yeah.
The show must go on.
Exactly. But yes, this is it. This is our book, Beautiful Foolishness.
Yes.
And like you said,
your story.
Ascertain where we got the title from, but it's basically just a culmination of what we feel our lives are, which is just this beautiful, crazy, chaotic, cultural clash, amazing party. And so we just felt like the best way to summarize that is Beautiful Fool. It's what we've called what we've done for the last probably 3 years. We've been saying that. And we were like, what better title than that for our first book, and for people who don't know us to learn about us, and then people who know us to be happy, like, oh my God, this is the perfect title for Ling and Lamb.
And everybody that's seen the title and the cover, they're like, oh my God, this is you guys. So we are grateful and we're happy that, we didn't go with any other name, because truly what we have is just beautiful. She's so goofy, like, again,
you saying that? I'm just saying, you saying that?
Thanks. I know. Exactly.
She's so goofy. She wants to play. Like, I'm coming from a culture where
And I say that to her all the time. Marriage is so serious. I never saw my grandparents hug. I never saw my grandparents kiss. You know, I never seen them being silly. The only time they gossip, maybe I see them gossip. They will gossip pals. But here is this one wants to prank, wants to be goofy, wants to strike a dance in the middle of nowhere, so beautiful foolishness.
So now I get an insight that I didn't see before. See, I would think the video portrays Ling as the serious one and Lamb as the goofy one, but I think that Lamb is the serious one, Ling is the goofy one, and you both balance each other out in the videos.
Yes, that is exactly it. Yes.
Birds of a feather flock together. I think you both have a goofy and serious side, but now I see it now. Like now it's like, oh my God, you guys are opposites in your videos.
Yeah, hiding behind being introvert.
Lamb is like the accountant in the back, like, honey,
literally,
honey, you need to be more serious about avoiding Neiman Marcus.
For real.
Literally.
Oh my God.
100%.
Like Lamb is the one who would be like the first one to like preach at you.
Yeah.
And then not in an encouraging, but powerful, poetic way. And then Ling would be the one in the front row, in the front pew of church, like making funny faces to see if you can make him laugh.
I will give you a perfect example. The first time we just got married, I called her. I was like, I want to have a serious I always want to have a meeting, and she hates it. She's like, why are you trying to have a meeting?
A meeting. That sounds like a business event in a marriage.
So I said to her one day, I said, I would like to talk to you about your savings habits.
When you just got married?
Right. I'm like,
that's so romantic, Lamb.
I know.
She says, what about it?
Well, you already married her, so you're asking her to change now. You might have had that conversation before the honeymoon.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Adrian.
You got her now. So you might want to talk about your savings habits, right?
Oh my gosh. So it's nonstop, you know?
So will people learn more about you in the, is it a memoir? Is it a biography? Is it a dream book? Is it here's what we came from and now here's where we're going?
Adrian, you literally just took all the genres and put it in one. That's exactly what this book is. Add a dash of inspiration and journaling as well.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this book is. A very conversational piece with us learning about, who we were separately before we came together, how we met and how we started on this journey and how we got to where we are today through intentional living and our faith.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay. I'm very excited. One more question. And I know you guys probably have to shoot a video.
Literally.
What? You got a content calendar. I already know. What do you see for the future? I mean, is there any dream that you can share? Obviously, I think that dreams are very sacred. I don't ask people to just go willy-nilly, but is there anything that you can share that you're looking forward to? Do you have a 5 and 10 year plan? Or is there something that you're saying, you know what, this is something that I could tell the world I want manifest in the future?
Yeah.
It's a lot, but I'll go with the obvious ones. We want to be able to take this mostly because we've seen how impactful it is and the way people, the comments and everything, we want to be able to take it to the next level. Maybe have a TV series, about it. Continue to figure out ways to keep documenting it, beyond just, that's one of the reasons why I was so happy about the book. The book is going to be here forever, People will read it years and years to come. So part of the dream will be, can we take it up there? Can it become a series? Can it become...
a series from this is really what we're praying for, from our mouth to, God's ears and manifest, hopefully in the near future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that's a safe one to be able to share.
Yeah, and for her, like I know beauty,
Yes.
beauty products, beauty line.
Yeah.
Have our own personal beauty brands in all over the stores.
Yeah.
And for me, music, you know,
Yeah.
I want to be able to, you know, I want to fill up stadiums and just people coming together, listening to good music and just worshiping God, you know, uplifting each other. I don't care if you're Christian or you're not Christian, but do you believe in God? Come over. You know, like that's my biggest dream. My biggest dream is to bring the world together to just recognize and appreciate God, basically.
Wow. Well, we said a lot of things from our lips to God's ears today.
Yes.
And I love the dreams. And I am so excited to see what happens next as you continue to stay grounded, stay real.
Thank you.
And stay hilarious because you guys are so funny. And I'm trying to imagine that series. I'll be texting you later, Ling, about what that looks like. Because if it looks like The Honeymooners, it's a hit for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Ling and Lam. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for being with
Thank you
us.
so much.
God bless
God bless
you. And
you.
your new project.
Thank you.